So this is the modification I did to Sapphire, sorry, Radeon 9070 XT. This is Sapphire Pulse, and all I did was putting the fan shroud I made myself. It's holding here on 2 screws. It's not even super tight, and 3 screws over here. That white part over there is polyester plastic. That's additional distance, so it keep more, steady, more stiff. So I can, when I want to take the GPU out of the case, I can very firmly hold it here and put whole GPU out of the case. It's holding pretty strong. Wait 1 minute. On the back side, this is done like that. I had to take the adapter and remove the cover on the cables so it's thinner, and put the card is pretty heavy right now, and place those cables over there. I will show you the front of the GPU, very gentle with this, and this is how the front of the GPU fan shroud looks like. I wanted to make additional, cutout over here, so there will be no part of the fan blade covered actually. And if you made something like this, or even simpler, and you will get the noisy fans, actually the same noise as the original fans, which is pretty common. You will get the better performance, but the noise will be the same, on the same levels. You can increase the distance from the radiator from the fans, and to do that, actually I could use some washers over here, or between those parts, between those two parts. This isn't the same level of the fan shroud I did previously. It's not the same quality. As you can see, it's not that pretty. It's more raw, but it works as it should. I can leave the default fan curve on the card, even disable the 0 RPM mode, and the card will be still cooler than on the stock fans. So was it worth it? Yes, definitely. And always that the bigger fans is more quiet than a smaller one. So basically, even with the stock fan curve, those fans don't need to spin that fast as the smaller ones to keep the desired temperature of your GPU. So in the end, they sound the same noise level as the stock fans, because biggest part of the noise is actually air pushing to the radiator, but it won't reach on those fans. The GPU won't reach the higher RPM actually, because those fans will do just fine on lower RPM. So for example, if your stock fans need to spin at, I don't know, 1700 RPM to cool the GPU, those fans will be just fine at 1200 RPM, something like that, and you won't hear it the same way as the stock fans. So I highly recommend check if your GPU have a header for the 4-pin VGA. I will show you that header just for 1 minute. This is how the header looks like. It's pretty simple. And always, when I was showing you, I was holding the card right in this way. That's not the proper way where if you get such heavy shroud as I have, because you should always handle the GPU via the shroud. Put your hands on the shroud, not on the PCB, because it's heavier and it will, you know, gravitation will work and it will just push the cooler down. And the bonus answer is actually the Sapphire did made a second revision for this GPU, and it have those metal pins, I don't know, and they are not screwed to the fan shroud, to the backplate, and it can work a little bit up and upside down, up and down, but it have something over there. This is the rubber or something. Yeah, you can see this on the very end. So that's how it looks. Just a quick look how it looks in the system. This is the torrent compact case. It doesn't extend. It's also a little bent like this, but if it works, you won't see this actually when the case is on the place. This is how it look everywhere here on the detail. As you can see, GPU anti-sag is also very professional, but it got a little bit of, you know, you can adjust the height. The support, the most the most irritating thing for me in this case actually is those cables, because they won't reach the GPU from underneath, they have to reach it from here. But it also works as the support for the CPU cooler, you know. So that's how the custom fan shroud works. I hear that my case is standing properly, not properly, so there might be some vibrations like that. But look how much RPM we got on 20%, 30%. Yeah, that's the vibrations. This is the number of RPM, 40%. This is what I mostly hear during the playing. And this is the around 90% situations when I play. even with the cyberpunk path tracing and all that stuff. 50% is absolute max you will hear on such fans. %60 is something you will probably not hear in other situations than OC overclocking. And as you can see, this is my max fan RPM. There is no reason to go further. And I was mistaken, it's not 3000 or 1200 RPM, this is max RPM that is needed for this card. You don't need to go on a higher, but just for the science, we're gonna see 70%. And this is pretty loud, I would say, but it doesn't really need it any time. Even in the hotter days I was using max 60%. And to improve the situation from this, you can use the washers I was talking about, and to improve the distance from radiator to fans. Then the noise from air hitting the radiator will be much smaller. Even the 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters can make a much bigger difference. But that's not needed. And also the fan blades are slightly covered, just like this gap. There is fan blade and you know it's circle, and my profiles on the fan shroud are straight, and some part of the fan blades are covered on one part and on another. So that also might increase the acoustic level. I will probably make something with this, but I don't really care as much as this is actually the max I can hear. Max, and usually the 50 is max. I will just load the default fan curve I'm using, GPU, and this is the default fan curve I use. Even the 55, not the 60, is max. So yeah, that's pretty silent. I almost don't hear this card when I'm gaming. And this is the settings I use for the undervolting. The card boosts to roughly 3000 MHz. I really regret the AMD did removed max frequency clock. They just put the offset right now, because before you do anything you will have to check what is the maximal boost your card is going, then you make adjustments. And also this is underneath, this is the power slider I'm using, -25, and all the GPU I had wasn't actually taking more than 250 watts. and that was max that card was taking, and on this GPU this is actually around 220 or 210. This is the max. The GPU is really cool. This is one of the most quiet and cool GPUs I had. So right now this is probably the best settings for this GPU. So see you soon in the next video if you're interested. And keep cool!